Yo, what's crack-a-lackin' dudes and dudettes, this is LEGO Jake here, and welcome to part 17 of our Ben 10 Power Trip Let's Play. To keep on keeping on from where we left off in the last episode, we are directly next to Astrid's boat, and she has asked us to collect these 3 totems that are residing upon these islands that we need to use Wrath and Diamond Head to go and collect. This whole section is pretty much a Wrath and Diamond Head test to see if we've conquered and perfected and mastered those characters as well as we have all the other aliens thus far. I will say, it is a really weird mission because you have to get to each mission marker on these separate islands, and not every island has one of the totems on it, like the one we're on right this second, for instance. We just have to go on it to get to this next island, even though if we would have went straight to the right before we went to that last island, we still would have been able to make it there, but because we had to make it to each mission marker, it's like forcing the mission to take longer than it really needs to be. Kind of funny, kind of weird. But I will say it is fun that it is a Diamond Head mission. We're still, you know, getting to use our new guy, show him off a little bit more, and this is definitely tailored directly towards him. Not only the fact that we have to use his little Frozone ability to bridge each gap between the islands, but he is just super useful as far as combat stuff goes. There's a lot of flying enemies, a lot of projectiles, which is pretty much exactly what he's used for, because he has his shard attack that he can pretty much throw like a javelin at them, which isn't ice, it's diamonds, remember, even though I'm pretty sure that they just thought this was an ice guy. And his shield attack is super useful for projectiles, because you pretty much can just stand there and allow things to shoot at you while you just sit pretty and it kills themselves. Pretty awesome stuff, yeah. I guess I should also mention, if you notice any jump cuts while we're taking on this mission, it's all because your boy was just really doing terrible. I don't know why, I was really scrubbing it up, if you ask me. I fell in the water so many times and died a good handful just falling straight in, and I even died in combat, which was, I think, the first time I've died playing through the game, period, which is just a sheer accomplishment. So you can give a round of applause for Big Pleb LEGO Jake on this mission. We got it done, though. We got it done. It's all good, but I definitely felt like I should at least admit to my flaws and not fake it and make it seem like, oh no, I jump cutted because I went to go get a coffee, duh. No, I was just sucking pretty hard, honestly. And to repeat myself from last episode, we really just need to get on upgrading Ben and these aliens pretty soon at this point, because he's getting weaker and weaker by the episode, and we are definitely getting closer to the end of the game, like, for sure. We have all of our aliens unlocked, we've all but caught up to Hex at this point. It's really just a matter of putting the beat down on him, if you ask me. But that's going to be kind of hard if our defense and attack skills are straight up down and he is just putting the beat down on us, you know what I mean? But because we are so close to the end of the game, with all of our aliens unlocked at this point, I do gotta ask for a question of the day. Out of all the aliens present in this game, Heat Blast, Shock Rock, Forearms, XLR8, Diamond Head, or Wrath, whose powers would you want in real life? Personally, I'd probably say XLR8, because if you could run that fast while seemingly not getting tired, then you'd really never need a car or plane or anything, and you could see the entire Earth in a really short time frame. That'd be kinda sick. But also Heat Blast would be kinda dope, because shooting fire sounds pretty G, and the Human Torch is badass, so you basically just become him for real. But hey, if you got a better answer, leave it down in the comments below. This definitely makes for a cool conversation, if you ask me. And if you've got some idea for a superpower in mind that's just a really good answer, then honestly throw that down below too. Maybe the question of the day could just be like, what superpower would you want? But I just figured, because we had the aliens, it made sense. Maybe a double question of the day. What alien from this game's power would you want? And what superpower would you want? Because then we can talk about how awesome it would be to be Spider-Man in real life. I mean, come on guys, if you could be anyone, why wouldn't it be that? Because not only does he shoot webs and he can swing around and his suit is straight up awesome, but he also has super strength, which a lot of people don't seem to talk about. I mean, don't we remember in Civil War when he's literally holding up like the side of a plane? Spider-Man is legendary. I want to play a game in the same sort of style as this, like a sort of cartoonish game, with Spider-Man in it. I guess they sort of have Disney Infinity, and that's pretty fun, but that's like a minuscule amount of Spider-Man. I want a full-blown game, like the new Miles one, but this style.
Yes. These will do nicely. The message is becoming clearer now. This magician you spoke of, I see him at the summit of Mount Iceberg right now, looking at some kind of crystal.
He found the crystal! I have to stop him!
Here, take this compass. It will lead you to the peak of Mount Iceberg.
Hey! This is the compass Gwen read about on the tablet!
The path is dangerous. Be cautious, Ben.
Don't worry, this is Ben 10 you're talking to.
That cat purring in the background of that cutscene was honestly so distracting and strange sounding that it was pretty hard to even keep track of the fact that Astrid was telling us that Hex is now at the peak of Mount Iceberg with the last crystal. Oh man, that thing that we've been trying to prevent? Yeah, didn't really work out too well. Hex got there first. Big oopsie moment. And if you're wondering why the footage is sped up right now, it's because we've already reached the sort of midpoint of Mount Iceberg before. It's the ski lift area. It's where there's a Grandpa Max rust bucket spot, fast travel area. It's an area we've already been to right here. So I didn't really feel it was necessary to show us in slow motion running all the way here once again. It would have just added like 2 minutes to the time of this video for no apparent reason, so you can thank me for that. On the bright side, the last time we were here we did not have Wrath unlocked, and as you can tell by the little panels on the wall, to complete this ruin challenge you obviously need him to climb up these little towers, and we weren't able to do that last time we were here, so at least we can now unlock a power bar, or some money, or possibly an upgrade if we're really lucky. Who knows. Thank God we have Tony the Tiger, though. That's all I'm saying. But honestly, guys, now I'm thinking about it, we coined that name, Tony the Tiger, a long time ago for Wrath, pretty much the second we unlocked him. And we've been teasing him with it pretty much ever since, but we have not given any of our other aliens a nickname, and that's not really fair. We've been roasting Wrath a little too much alone. We gotta come up with some nicknames for everybody else, alright? Let's think about this. Let's think. Diamond Head, obviously, we could call him Frozone, because he's a carbon copy. We could call XLR8, like the Geico Lizard, or something. We could call Heat Blast, the Human Torch. Maybe that's not a great roast, because the Human Torch was kind of, you know, he had a huge ego, everyone kind of liked him, so... maybe that one's not the best one ever. Forearms we could call Wilt from Foster's Home from Imaginary Friends. I know that Wilt wasn't necessarily big and had 4 arms, but he was tall and he was red. That's kind of similar. Shock Rock, we can literally just call Golurk from Pokemon. You know what I mean? We gotta get some other nicknames going on. Maybe also leave down in the comments if you guys got any better nicknames that we can throw out here, because it's getting too mean to call Wrath Tony the Tiger all the time. I mean, he's useful, he's helpful, he has good attacks, very good defense, you know, we always seem to use him all the time. It's very rude if we're just making fun. I'm just yanking his chain, you know, he's our homeboy, but... we gotta roast everybody else, too. We gotta whip out the funny nicknames. Again, if you guys have any good ones, definitely leave them down in the comments, because we can use them, at least for the end of this Let's Play, the last couple episodes here. We can only refer to them as their nicknames from now on, but I gotta have a couple good ones in store. Can't be calling him Tony the Tiger and calling someone the Human Torch. It's not a fair comparison, you know what I mean? Gonna need you guys' help on this one. But to quickly get back to the gameplay for 1 second, because it's pretty much going to last the rest of the episode, we're currently climbing to the top of Mount Iceberg, and it is a huge parkour challenge. I mean, it took me about 20 minutes to get to the top of this from start to finish with almost no faults, like no falling off the edge and stuff. There's a ton of gaps to face, a ton of batons and rocks in the walls that you need to use Wrath to climb up, a ton of enemies to take on. It is a giant gauntlet before the, what I assume is nearly end of the game type stuff, almost last boss, possibly last boss type stuff. This is like the ultimate last challenge to see if you have enough upgrades, enough power, enough defense, enough skill in your own ability to take on enemies and everything. This is really, like I said, a gauntlet that shows if you have the skills to even be taking on Hex, or if you need to go back and get upgrades and do side quests and stuff. And as you can see by how much health it takes down every time they hit me, and how much damage they take to actually take them down, it's really, really tough. It's not for the faint of heart. I would recommend, once you see that you're at this point in the game and you're about to hit this mission, or maybe right when you trigger it to start, I would say start looking around, get some upgrades, finish all the ruin challenges, maybe get some power bars and health bars and stuff so that you are strapped to the teeth and ready to take on this challenge, because it is definitely not easy. It's pretty much one of the harder moments in the game. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like straight up difficult, because this isn't like a hard video game, but compared to everything else, comparatively, it is pretty tough. And I would say to at least be fair warned when entering that this is definitely a challenge that is going to take some might. And that's one more Rust Bucket fast travel location that we are bound to never use in the books. Great job. And to finish up what I was saying before the cutscene happened, just really be strapped to the teeth before coming into this area. This is pretty much endgame territory. Have all your upgrades you can, unlike me who waited and wants to do extras videos for the sake of a good series. I would not follow my footsteps. You should definitely get all the health bars and upgrades, complete all the ruin challenges you can, get all your upgrades and collectibles, be 100% complete with the game before the last mission. I'm telling you, it's the smartest option to do. You'll have a much easier time facing up against this. Like I said, it took about 20 minutes getting up here to the peak of this mountain. You might be able to do it in a good 10 minutes if you're faster at parkour and if your characters are better upgraded, because you'll be able to take out these enemies significantly faster. It takes my characters quite a few hits to break through their armor and health, and honestly, they take my health down like it is absolutely nothing. So I'm just saying, don't follow exactly in my footsteps with this last mission. You should definitely be fully upgraded before walking in here. I know that was a long tangent, but I really needed to specify all that for the real. And also, right while we're in this area, I gotta say, because there's a bunch of ruin challenges on this path up the mountain, I would say definitely take them out. I'm not sure if you get to come back up this path, maybe using a ski lift or something easy later on, or if you need to walk the entire thing again. But because 100% completion means destroying all the ruin challenges and everything, I would say definitely do it on your path up the mountain, because God forbid it doesn't give you some easier way to get here, then once you hit the end game, you're actually going to have to climb up this like 15-minute path once again, which I don't think anybody wants to do. I think we can all agree on that one time up this mountain is more than enough, especially not just for one little ruin challenge that in the end doesn't really mean much. Even though when I took that challenge on, it then took Wrath's little Cheeto dust trail and put it back at the beginning, so then I was sort of walking around aimlessly for a second. Thank God for my lovely commentary, or else we would have nothing to watch but Diamond Head confusedly walking around for a little bit. But we are back on the path now to justice, freedom, and Cheetos. And speaking of Cheetos, bro, I don't even care. Third question of the day, what's you guys' favorite chips? Honestly, I'm not really into normal Cheetos. I like the baked Cheetos. I love hot Cheetos. Oh, well, I should say specifically hot fries. The normal hot Cheetos, again, I don't know what's up with normal branded Cheetos, but they just are not that fire. Hot fries, baked hot Cheetos, baked normal Cheetos, fire. Cheeto Puffs, fire. But normal Cheetos, not fire. Hot fries, I'd probably put in like my top 5. I like Cool Ranch Doritos. They're pretty good. They're pretty convenient to like too, because Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is pretty active and popular at the moment. And obviously you can get double XP by eating them, which is very good for someone that actually enjoys the chips. I would never buy the Mountain Dew for double XP, because I hate Mountain Dew. I'm not one of those people, but it is convenient when it's a food I actually enjoy, like pizza rolls, for instance. But to get back to the chip talk, I'm not really a big potato chip, like, normal guy, but there are certain versions of Lay's that are pretty fire. I mean, typical barbecue chips are pretty good, can't even lie. But, yeah, basic potato chip type stuff. Who wants to eat something that just tastes of salt? I mean, that is just a weird concept to me. I mean, I guess they're not the worst flavored thing on the planet, but, just really not a preference. But yeah, I guess I would say the hot fries is probably the #1 up there. I can't really put, my mind on anything else. Maybe I just have food on the mind right now. This is way too long of a conversation, but I don't know. I'm losing it. This is not much active gameplay, you know what I mean? It's just sort of climbing up this mountain for like 15 straight minutes. I'm trying to keep things interesting, doing the best I can. Probably failing. I don't know. You guys will let me know. Whatever. What I do know is that we are finally basically at the end of this mountain path. We have taken on so many of these Humpty Dumpty fellows and flying fellows. We have used pretty much every single one of our aliens and done some pretty badass work with each and every one of them, if you ask me. And yes, that was another jump cut death there, because as I've made it very clear already, this path is hard as hell. I can't stress that enough. The biggest tip I can give is probably just use Diamond Head for most of the combat stuff, so that you can just sit behind his shield and let them take themselves out, because it is just too hard to even worry about facing these guys with the not very great combat that the game gives you, especially when you're like me and you are way too weak for the mission you're on. Just a little tip. But maybe if you took my tip from earlier and were strong in this area, you wouldn't have that issue.
Oh, hello, Ben. Aren't you chilly up here in your shorts?
Freeze, Hex! Drop that crystal!
The only one who will be freezing is you, Ben.
Yeah, I probably will be freezing. I'm chilly in my shorts, don't you remember? I'm really getting sick of you, Hex. We're gonna go through this portal in the next episode and finish off whatever it is you have in store for us. Maybe it's the end, maybe it's not. I guess we'll find out then, and hopefully my commentary will be slightly more interesting in that episode. Until then, I will see you later, folks. Peace!